Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Here I simplify spirituality, and I'm talking about the law of assumption again today. I'm going to talk about a quote that I love from Neville Goddard. I'm just going to bring it up again. If you assume your desire and live there as though it were true, no power on earth can stop it becoming a fact. Now here's the thing though. If you live as though it was true, and this is where people get lost. This is where people go, how do I live as though it was true? So you assume the desire. To assume, you can also say, is to take it on, to wear that desire now. So I was speaking to a client about that today. To assume a desire is to take it on. What do I want to take on? I want to take on the fact of the person that I will be who has that. Now here's the thing. You don't need to change You don't need to add anything to yourself to become that person. What you need to realize is the reason you don't have your abundance, you don't have your health and all that is because often you are taking on the cloak of the problem. So to assume is actually to let go. To live in the end is actually to let go. It's to let go of that desire now. See, a lot of people think to live in the law of assumption, I've got to be constantly thinking about my desire. The law of assumption is actually about letting go. It's about letting go of the emotional need and for validation of the hardened fact. And we see that by the way that Neville speaks in some of his lectures about his own experiences. He goes through turmoil and struggle, and he goes through pains and issues, especially in the story where he is trying to get honourably discharged from the army. It's a very painful story. He doesn't tell it painfully, but if you think about what he went through, the pain he must have wanted to experience as a human, but because he was awakened and aware, he didn't let the outside world affect his inner state of being. What is that but surrender and letting go? You see, people don't realise that listening to someone like Michael Singer and talking about surrender, is the reason he manifested such wondrous abundance and success in all areas of life is because he assumed the feeling of the wish fulfilled, which means no resistance. He had no resistance to what was to come. He had no resistance to which way life would knock him and turn him. He said, I will follow the bridge of incidences. This is what Neville's actually talking about in the law of assumption. He's saying to let go. Let go of the idea of your outcome now. Desire is a God-given stirring inside. It then comes up and you start to see it in your mind's eye. You see the idea of your wish fulfilled, which is health, abundance, beauty, harmony, all these things, whatever you want it to be. It can be all of those things. Now I'm going to see myself as it, and I must realize that the only thing I have to do now is let go of my reactionary point of view towards it not being there, because that's when I assume that it's gone. So, and this is from someone who's worked with millionaires, someone who's worked with highly successful people, someone who's worked with people who have healed themselves. They just stopped being so attached to the problem. That's what it was. That's how you assume. The law of assumption is you becoming detached from the problem that you're trying to overcome. So when it shows its face, when you recognize that you're not abundant, when you recognize your health issue, don't emotionally embrace it, because that is then going to assume that you are still in the issue. To assume and live in the law of assumption is to not emotionally embrace anything that you don't want. That is the point I wanted to bring across to you guys today. I wanted it to be a short video, but the law of assumption really is the law of emotional detachment to the issue. I hope that makes sense, guys. I'll see you at the next one.